everyone and welcome you all back to the channel. Happy to see you all once again in another video. In today's video, I will explain you all about how to build equipment according to your enemy team. So, if you are new to the channel and haven't subscribed yet, do it immediately. And without further ado, let's get right into the video. Now, let us look at the equipments and when to build them. Now, let us see the attack section. First, there is Spear of Longinus or Longinus Spear, which grants you attack damage, cooldown and HP. It also grants you armor penetration. If you are playing a squishy hero and you need to build a little bit tanky, you can buy this equipment and also it is used for better cooldown. Next one is Fafnir's Talon, which grants you attack damage, attack speed and lifesteal. Also has a passive of dealing a damage of 8% of target's max HP. Can also be used to counter high HP heroes. Next one is the Clave Sandy, which is the most mandatory equipment for all the heroes who is based on critical damage, as it increases both the critical chance and the critical damage. The next one is Muramasa, which grants you 40% of armor PS. Can be very good against heroes who have more armor, also to counter the tanks. The next one is the Beast, which grants you 25% of lifesteal from the physical damage you make. Can be used for marksmen and warriors for more sustain in the team fights. Next is Omni Arms, which grants you attack speed and HP. Also has a unique passive of dealing 100% additional damage with the next auto attack after using the abilities. If you are playing a high damage output hero, then you can use Omni Arms to amplify your damage much more. Now, the Slick Sting, which grants you attack speed, critical chance and movement speed. Also grants 35% of resistance from crowd control when your auto attack crits. This equipment is best suited for marksmen. Now, the Fenrir's Tooth. This is the only equipment which gives the highest attack damage in the game. It has an awesome passive. That is, if the target's HP falls below 50%, you deal additional 30% damage. This equipment is best suited for true damage heroes. Also, if the enemy team has many squishies, it will be more useful. The next is the Death Curse, which reduces the HP regeneration and lifesteal of the enemies by 40% when you deal physical damage on them. It also grants you extra armor and cooldown. With this, you can counter heroes with lifesteal like Lubu, Arum, Airi, Chi, Tara, Alain and so on. This is one of the most used equipment in the game. Now, the Death Sickle, which grants immunity to death from a killing blow and increases the movement speed by 20% for 1 second, which is a common last equipment for most of the heroes. Next equipment is the Bloodthirsty Bow, which when bought, you will have another button of Bloodthirsty Bow in the screen. On tapping it, you will get 60% of lifesteal for 3 seconds. The only equipment in the game which has a high lifesteal. This equipment is best suited for ranged heroes like marksmen. The next is Blitzblade, which grants you high attack speed, also creates a lightning bolt that hits all the nearby targets which you hit and deal magic damage and can crit also. This equipment is best for marksmen and high attack speed heroes. The next is Flame Wrath, which grants you attack speed and critical chance. With a passive, that is, the normal attacks increases the attack speed and can stack up to 5 times. This is the only equipment which grants the highest attack speed in the game. This is also the common equipment for marksmen and Alain too, with his passive to convert the attack speed to attack damage. The last equipment on the attack section is Rank Breaker, which is a perfect early game equipment for most of the heroes, as it provides high damage and armor penetration, also used to counter squishy heroes, best suited for assassins and warriors. Next is the magic section. At first, we have Boomstick, which increases your ability power, also deals area damage if your ability hits an enemy. Best suited for single target ability heroes, but can be used by any mage to increase their AP damages. The next one is Hecate's Diadem, which increases your ability power by 35%. Best to use when you need high damage. Orb of Magi grants you HP and ability power which stack up to 10 times. Also recovers HP and mana when you reach a new level. If you need to be a bit more tanky, you can use this equipment in the early games. Next one is Ria's Blessing, which is the only equipment in the magic section which grants you magic lifesteal. Also grants a shield when your HP falls below 40%. In late games you can gain more lifesteal from higher damages you deal. Zweihander is the equipment which makes your normal attacks deal high magic damage and increases the attack speed by 50%. Can be best for heroes like Praeta, Direk, Kira and so on. Next is Frosty's Revenge. When your ability hits a target, its movement speed is reduced. Can be used to counter high mobility heroes like Superman. Next one is Berith's Agony, which can deal continuous damage on the target who got hit by your abilities. Also grants additional armor, good for heroes who are low ranged. The next is Staff of Null, which grants you 40% of magic penetration. Can be used when your opponent builds more magic defense on them. Apocalypse is an equipment which is similar to Omniarms, which deals additional magic damage with the next normal attack after using an ability, which can be perfect for heroes like Zill, Pain, Darcy, Saphira and so on. Evil Secrets is the best early game equipment which grants magic penetration, HP and cooldown, perfect for countering the squishy heroes in the early game. The next is the Soaring Aura, which grants you more HP and reduces the defense of nearby enemies. If more than 2 or 3 enemies buy magic defense, this equipment can be useful. The Tome of the Reaper is an equipment which is similar to the Death Curse. When you deal magic damage, the HP regeneration or lifesteal of the target is reduced by 40%. Can be used only by mages. The Holy of Holies grants the highest amount of ability damage in the game, also with a passive that increases your HP, which is the best equipment for the mages in the late game. Also can be used for heroes like Scud, Grak, Xeniel and so on. Next is Virtuous Necklace, the equipment best for heroes who consume more mana for their abilities, as it restores 1% mana every second. This is one of the best early game equipments. The Articarp grants you ability power and also has a unique passive. When you buy this item, the Articarp button will be shown in the screen. If you tap it, you become frozen and you are immune to damage and CCs. Also, you can't move or use your abilities for 2 seconds. After that, a shield will appear for 1 second. It is used when the enemy assassins always tries to kill you. You can trap them as they can get only one chance to take you out in the late games. Frostguard is the best suited equipment for the heroes who deal AoE damage, as it creates a shockwave when the abilities hits an enemy and damages all the nearby enemies, also reducing their attack speed and movement speed. Can be used to counter the high attack speed and mobility heroes. The next is the defense section. At first we have Mantle of Ra, which is the best suited equipment for the heroes who deal less damage but has high HP, as it converts percentage of max HP into magic damage which is dealt to nearby targets. Also grants HP and armor. The next one is the Shield of the Last, which reduces the attack speed and movement speed of the enemies who hits you. Also grants HP and armor, best for countering high attack speed heroes. Aegis is an equipment which grants the highest armor in the game, and it grants more mana also. Also it gives 20% of cooldown reduction with a passive of reducing the attack speed of the nearby enemies, best for heroes with melee range. The next is the Gaia Standard, which provides magic defense and HP with a passive. When you take damage, certain percentage of HP is restored for 2 seconds. This equipment is best when you need HP and magic defense at the same time. Medallion of Troy is also a similar equipment like Gaia Standard, but the medallion grants you extra shield which absorbs magic damage. Also grants some cooldown reduction, best equipment against burst damage mages. The Mail of Pain convert the damage taken by you and deal it to the attacker as magic damage. This can be used for tanks and melee range heroes. Next one is Hyoga's Edge, which is the only equipment which grants both armor and magic defense. Also, if your auto attacks hits the enemies, their movement speed is reduced, good for countering high mobility heroes. If the enemy team has more than 2 mages, you can just buy 3 magic defenses then they can't really do anything. If you need a little extra armor and magic defense in the early games, you can go for the second tier equipments like Knight's Plate and Belt of Clarity. Next is Hercules Madness. When your HP falls below 40%, it grants a shield and increases your lifesteal. Best for lifesteal based heroes and for assassins too. Odin's Will is an equipment which on taking damage stack up to 5 times and the next damage you deal will be increased to 1. This equipment is best suited for Superman as it also grants movement speed. Next is the Blade of Eternity, which can increase your attack damage and also can resurrect within 2 seconds of your death with certain amount of HP. Can be used twice in a match, can also be used for all the heroes in the game. Frostcape is a similar equipment as Omniarms, but instead of additional burst damage, it reduces the movement speed, also deals a less additional damage. This is also used to counter high mobility heroes. Amulet of Longevity is the only equipment that give more HP, also with a unique passive. When you get out of a fight, it recovers 4% of your max HP every second. Good for supports in the late games. Now to the movement section. All the shoes grants you the same amount of movement speed, which is their passives. Now the Sonic Boots grants you with armor and damage reduction from attack damage. Gilded Greaves provides resistance to crowd control. The Flashy Boots grants cooldown reduction. So in the early games you can buy 2 boots not for movement speed but for its other benefits. Enchanted Kicks grants you magic penetration. The War Boots grants you attack speed, which is best for the marksman in the early games. The last is the Hermes Select, which grants you extra movement speed when you exit a battle. Now to the jungle section. Punish is the basic required talent to buy any of these equipments from this section. All these equipments converts Punish talent to Frostbite when you buy the second tier item. Monster killing can stack up to 30 times. After that, killing monster won't increase your stats. The first one is the Loki's Curse, which is best suited for mage assassins, which increases their ability power upon killing monsters. So with a passive similar to Apocalypse in the magic section. Next is Leviathan, which is best for tank jungling. Also good for assassins too, which increases your max HP upon killing monsters, with a passive similar to Mantle of Ra in the defense section. The Soul Breaver is an equipment which increases your attack damage upon killing the monsters. This equipment is best for assassins and warrior junglers. It also has a passive similar to the Omniarms in the attack section. Last is the Scorching Wind, which increases the attack speed upon killing monsters. This is best suited for marksman jungle with a passive of dealing extra magic damage to enemies. Now the last section, which is the support section. You should buy the elemental gem in order to buy the next tier equipments. Also, you should buy the elemental gem at the start of the game as it grants extra gold and XP when you are near your teammate clearing waves and so on. The support item can be bought only by one player in each teams during a match. Now the Earth Stone is for tanks, which grants HP. The Water Stone is for mage support, which grants ability power. The Fire Stone is for warrior support, which grants attack damage. The final tier equipments are all the same for all the 3 classes. When you buy these equipments, an extra ability button will appear on your screen except for Genesis equipment. Now the first barrier equipment, while using its ability, grants a shield for all the nearby teammates. The next is the Magic Eye, which grants vision of the invisible enemies to all the teammates in large area and increases their movement speed. Used to counter heroes like Villain, Wukong and Batman, also can find out the camping of enemies. Eradicate is similar to Execute, where Execute deals area damage, Eradicate hits only one target, which is on using it, it deals true damage to the nearby enemy who has the lowest HP. The best suited equipments for Batman and Richter supports. On using Cleansing, it will remove all the control effects on nearby teammates and recover some HP. Best equipment against a team with high CC. The final one is the Genesis, which grants armor and magic defense to all the allies who are nearby. This equipment does not have an ability button. So that's all for today's video, friends. Hope you all enjoyed it. In this video, I have explained a little about the equipments. So if you need an in-depth guide on them, please check out the videos that are done by Seronix. I have given the link in the descriptions. Also, some of you were asking for best heroes to push ranks. I have also given that link in the description from the channel of Magnier Felix. Please check it out. Now, if you find this video helpful, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Also, hit the subscribe button if you don't want to miss out the future contents. See you friends in the next video. Until then, bye bye and have a great day.